I got a huge opportunity to tag with beautiful Bobby Eaton for 2 years. What had happened was he was moving to Arkansas, which is just a stone's throw away from me. And he was actually going to do a tag team with a kid in Arkansas, and he was going to do a tag team with me in Tennessee. And then the guy in Arkansas, somebody got in his ear and told him it wasn't a good idea. I don't know who the hell would do it, but like told him it wasn't a good idea, so he passed. So then we ended up just being Midnight Gold, us together throughout the South, and we would be booked, as the stars on the show. We would come work the main event, work with the local guys, and it was just a really great time. And our manager was Brian Thompson, so we had that Midnight Express, Jim Cornette kind of feel. I always say we're Midnight Express of Jason.
There you go, the extended Midnight Express family.
Yeah, the extended universe of the Midnight Express. But like even there was times, sometimes I'd be working with guys that I'd been working with for 8-10 years, and we'd be in the ring going, and I look at Bobby on the corner, and Bobby Eaton looked like it was 1985 because he didn't want to be the weak link in that match. He still had, the desire to go, and even though his body couldn't do some of it anymore, he still wanted to be that guy. So then I tag him in, and then all of a sudden it was like it was in Greensboro. You know what I mean? Like, and he was going. You know what I mean? And I'm just sitting on the apron, like, jaw dropped, like watching one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, go to school. It's great.
That's amazing to hear because I'll tell you, as someone who has seen some bigger names who have fallen from grace do some indie shows, sometimes they're only in their 40s or 30s and they're already phoning it in, and that's kind of a bummer. So I love hearing that stuff.
Yeah, and Bobby too. And this is the great thing about Bobby. Like I said, we tagged for 2 years, and he never allowed me in 2 years to take a pin. You understand? Every promoter would be like, "Hey, mind if we beat Greg?" And Bobby would pipe it and go, "No, we're not beating Greg. We're beating me." You know what I mean? He would never let me take a pin. He said this was an opportunity for me to get noticed and get seen, and people would start talking about me. It wasn't going to hurt him to get pinned. So the goal was to keep me as strong as possible through the entire run.
Wow. Okay. That's it. So
how many guys would do that?
Yeah, not many. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And how far into your career did you start teaming with him?
It was like 8 years.
8 years. Okay.
Yeah. So I'd primarily obviously been a singles wrestler, but like at that point I'd actually been a heavyweight champion and been main event in a couple things like that. And it was just one of those things where the opportunity came up, and I was like, well, I can't pass that up, so I'm going to be a tag team. And I really took it under myself to learn more about tag team wrestling, obviously, during that time. So.
What kind of advice, what kind of stuff do you get from someone like Bobby Eaton?
Well, I mean, the thing with him was he called me the captain of Midnight Gold, right? So he would let me put stuff together, and every once in a while he'd have a question like, hey, why are we doing this or why are we doing that? And once I explained my thought process to him, he was like, okay, that makes sense. And he let me do it. So really it was more, he really instilled a lot of confidence in me as far as my just being an overall worker, was concerned because, one time we were talking on the phone and we were talking about just random stuff. I think I was asking him a question, and then he just stops in the middle and goes, Greg, I don't want you to ever get frustrated about not being anywhere, bigger than you are, because like, if this was 1985, you'd be right with us making hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? And for Bobby Eaton to give me the rub saying I could run with those guys, that meant the world.